Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
TGIF, everybody. Welcome to Undisputed live from Los Angeles. I'm Jen Hale, here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Welcome back to you.
How you like my look, Skip? How you like my look?
I hadn't noticed, and I'm just looking right through you. I don't know.
I think
you trying to be me?
I think we step, bro. You think?
Oh, you got your chain on.
Oh, you think?
I forgot he also gave you one just to make sure your feelings weren't hurt.
You think?
That's Lil Wayne.
Skip, you think Ernestine will be able to tell us apart?
Probably not. And by the way, I just hope this show does not end up in divorce. And I'm not talking about us getting a divorce. I'm talking about me and Ernestine, because she is going to join us around 11:30 Eastern time. Sit right there. Might be the end of me.
No, I think she'll sit right here.
I know.
She
might sit over there.
Yeah.
That is true.
She had
Way to
a
go.
few
Yeah, you're right.
night.
You're right.
Date night might have a whole new twist this Friday at dinner.
If we have one.
All right, everybody. A jam-packed show this Friday. How concerned should the Panthers be about Cam after last night's loss? Also, like Skip said, very special guest on the show later. Probably the best person in the world to debate Skip. She does it all the time.
Yep.
But first this morning, we're going to get started in New England. The sexual assault allegations against Antonio Brown are still being investigated by the NFL. Meanwhile, the receiver is expected to play Sunday in Miami, his Patriots debut, despite his first practice being just 2 days ago. Yesterday, Brown went live on Instagram from the TB12 Therapy Center. During the video, AB said, quote, "No matter what they say, no matter what they hate, somebody still gotta go to work." Interesting situation. Shannon, are you at all surprised that AB is expected to go this Sunday?
No, and I've always thought that unless the NFL interjected, Skip, that Coach Belichick was going to put AB on the field. Coach Belichick does not bring guys in that he doesn't think can help him win. And he doesn't sit guys on the bench. He doesn't discipline guys like that, Skip. Well, I'm going to suspend you. You're not going to play. No. Sports is a bottom line business, more so than anything in New England. Wins, losses. Let me put the best 11 guys on offense, defense, and special teams that's going to give this team the best chance of winning.
Yep.
And AB will be out there. I always thought he would be out there unless the NFL says no. We're going to put him on the commissioner's exempt list, and we're going to let this thing play itself out, and then we'll go from there. So I always thought he was going to play. For me, and if he's out there, if you're not going to, try and get him the ball, Skip, I don't really see the use for him being out there. A part of me,
I agree.
Part of me goes back and forth. It's like, I can really, really see, Skip, them going out of their way to try to get him the ball, to try to prove a point.
Yep.
Okay, we got this toy, and I know this is not what we normally do, but just to show you what we got, and when the rubber needs to meet the road, we have this weapon that we know you can't guard everybody man to man. So I thought he was going to play. I always thought he was going to play. I'm not surprised that he's going to play, Skip. You look at the snaps, out of 70 snaps, Edelman played 67, Dorsett 59, Gordon played 49, Myers played 8. So all things being equal, what position does he play? I think he played more of an X receiver, which was to the open side in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And so that might be Josh Gordon's slot. So he's going to cut into someone is going to get some of their snaps, get a decrease in snaps. But again, what is this about, Skip? What did he do yesterday? After practice, what did he do? He goes to TB12, the training center, and what he does, he posts. Hey, Alex, 17,000.
Alex Guerrero, Tom's trainer.
That's what it's about, Skip. No one is hating on you. Everything that has transpired in your life over the last 6-7 months, Skip, has been inflicted by Antonio Brown. Nobody did this to him. He did it to himself. It's always how many people like me on Instagram. Who's talking about me on IG? Who's talking about me in social media? Are they talking about me on the talk show? That's what it's about with him. And he just doesn't get it. Why do you care? I just want him to just go play so we can talk about his play on the field and not his antics. But I expect him to play Sunday, and I'm assuming that he's going to get a few balls thrown his way.
Unfortunately, I agree. Before I answer Jen's question, allow me to reiterate on our behalf, we still have no idea what the truth is about the accusations levied via the civil lawsuit against Antonio Brown. Again, he says the relationship was consensual. She says 2 incidents of sexual assault and 1 rape. That's all we know, and we're not picking sides. We're just trying to sift through what the facts are as we know them right now. So I do know that ESPN yesterday reported that the 2 sides, her side and his side, have been in communication for, quote unquote, according to ESPN, several months. It's a long time. So I'm going to guess that during those communications, there was discussion, if not negotiation, over a financial settlement. Correct? And I'm just going to have to assume that Antonio dug in and said, no, it was a consensual relationship. I'm not going to give her a penny. I'm just assuming that, unless it's possible that she asked far more than he wanted to pay. But I don't know that. I'm just, somehow they could not reach a conclusion, an agreement, right? Yeah. Okay. So reportedly also, neither the league nor the Patriots knew about these communications between the 2 sides, that they only became aware when she filed her civil lawsuit. So if that's the case, if they had known, wouldn't they both, the Patriots and the NFL, have encouraged Antonio, please just settle this, because this is our 100th anniversary celebration. Please try to make this go away.
You've hijacked it.
Right? Yeah. He has hijacked it. In fact, Christine Brennan used that word in her column yesterday in USA Today. I'm going to get back to her column in just a second. But the point is that this has been a stain on the early celebration that was week 1 of the NFL. Great Monday night. Heck, it was a great, we're off to a great start. It was a great finish in the game last night. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But I'm sure everybody would have liked for this to have gone away if in fact she had accepted a financial settlement. We would have never heard a word about this. Is that because they would have signed a
NDA, non-disclosure?
Okay. So that didn't happen. So now we're back to the league. I am surprised that the league has not intervened at all. I have not heard a public word from the league except a report that said they are going to investigate. They are going to speak with her after she gets married, and it will be next week that they will speak to her, right? I'm still surprised. I thought that the commissioner would use his exempt list to, so to speak, put Antonio on ice until they could conclude their own investigation and try to get to the bottom of this. That clearly did not happen.
No.
Now, flip side, I am not surprised that the Patriots appear to be going forward to play him on Sunday, right? Absolutely. I'm not surprised at all. What did I tell you yesterday? What was my sort of pipe dream about this? That for once, Robert Kraft would step up and say, enough. We're not going to do this anymore. I know we have a history of doing this. We're not going to do it with this because this is one too many incidents. We don't know what happened in this one, but he's had so many incidents over the last year. This is just too much for us, and we wish him well, and we're going to send him on his way. And I still think they could have gotten out from under the $10 million that they owed him in guaranteed money.
The difference is, Skip, they don't want to get out.
Okay, they don't want to, and I agree. And I'm standing by my point I told you. The head coach definitely doesn't want out. He doesn't really need Antonio right now, but he definitely needs him next year and the next year. If he's going to try to go forward with no more Tom Brady and Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, he needs a superstar receiver. So to me, this is more about Belichick's mission to prove he can win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady. And I assume Belichick's going to try to make that happen starting next year, and we don't know if Robert Kraft will sign off on that. It probably depends how Tom Brady plays the rest of this year, and obviously he's off to a pretty good start. Okay, so if he does play on Sunday, there is going to be massive fallout. And you just wait. You haven't heard anything happen just yet, but I'm going to go back to Christine Brennan's column, which was
probably
2 days ago.
Probably see a few protests in front of the stadium.
You are right about that. Again, she wrote that it was just obvious to her. This is 2 days ago, and by the way, Christine was a prominent leading voice. She was a tone setter on the criticism that Commissioner Goodell took over being so slow to react to the Ray Rice video. Remember this? Okay, so Christine was out front on that one, and now she's out front again, and she's asking, where is the NFL? Well, so far, nowhere. And her point is, for exactly 5 years and 3 days, that's the length of time that has elapsed from the moment we first saw the video of Ray Rice's punch of his then-fiancée, Janae Palmer, to right now. That's 5 years and 3 days. The NFL has spent a lot of time telling us how much it cares about women. So Christine is saying this is, to use her phrase, a layup. You have to put Antonio on the exempt list.
Right.
Didn't happen. So she concludes in her piece that the NFL needs to get Antonio Brown off the field for as long as necessary. Well, apparently that's just not going to happen.
No.
So wait till Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, because there's going to be very loud reaction to this, and it's not going to be pretty. And so I'm a little surprised that the NFL couldn't react at all, except that this is not a criminal case yet.
Right.
This is just a civil case. Again, now we get back to our friend Jarrett Bell. I used this yesterday, but I'm going to point it out again. What's his just-in-case scenario, his hypothetical? Here's the risk for Roger Goodell. If you let Antonio play now and the allegations prove to be true, can you survive the fallout that will also impact the Ray Rice disaster in 2014? I don't know. That's going to be tough. And as you pointed out yesterday, Commissioner Goodell was
Hanging
on notice.
Yeah, he was hanging on by a thread.
Right?
Yeah.
By a thread. I thought he was about to lose his job. Remember, he did a Friday afternoon media session and tried to explain his way out of everything,
Right.
and I didn't think he did great. He was dancing as fast as he could,
Right.
but he survived.
Right. I agree with Christine. This is a layup for the NFL because all they had to do is just put him on the list and say, AB, we're going to put you on the commissioner's exempt list. You'll still get paid, but we need to do our due diligence. We need to do our fact-finding and see, hear her side, hear your side, and come up with the best case, a plan of action moving forward. And because the NFL is so reactionary, now there's going to be some outcries. Like, as you mentioned, he gets on this field on Sunday. There'll probably be a few protests. No big deal. He catches a touchdown, and then there all the headlines.
Yep.
Antonio Brown has this lawsuit pending about sexual assault, and the NFL put him out there. Why? You could have prevented this.
Yep.
You could have said, look,
Good
we're going to put him here. We're going to do our fact-finding. We're going to do our due diligence. And say after 6 days, 6 weeks, who knows how long it takes, Skip, we've gotten all the information. After talking to both sides, we feel comfortable with the decision that to let Antonio Brown play or to keep Antonio Brown off the field. But at least you appease, even if you don't care, you got to give the impression that you do care.
Yep.
And I think that's what people got so upset about the Ray Rice situation, because you gave your appearance that you didn't even give a damn about this.
Okay.
And so then it became, when the outrage, when the video became so public and everybody got an opportunity to see with their own eyes, and then and only then, so hold on. How did TMZ get the video? TMZ don't make $10 billion a year.
Nope.
They got it, and you didn't get it?
You got it.
Or did you even try to get it? Or did you not want to see what was on the video?
Fair question.
And that's what people thought.
Yep.
You didn't want to see what was on the video. Because for someone to get into an elevator standing, and all of a sudden they come out and they're being drugged out, the elevator didn't all of a sudden drop 40 stories. So the NFL,
Okay.
I keep saying NFL, commissioner, you could have easily gotten yourself out of this situation by just placing him on that list.
All right, and because he didn't, there's a news story in today's USA Today from Josh Peter. It's a background story on AB from his early days in Miami, growing up there, and it features, first off, a quote from Larry Moss Jr. He's the former stepfather of Antonio Brown, who helped raise him from age 5 to 17. I don't want to make too much of this quote because Larry Moss Jr. has had his problems. He's been in and out of jail. And he had a falling out with Antonio at age 17, and they haven't spoken since. So you can, I don't want to make too much. You can read what you want into this, but I'm only reading this quote because these are the kinds of quotes, because the NFL didn't get out in front of this, that they're going to have to live with. This is in our national newspaper, USA Today. Larry Moss Jr., former stepfather of AB, says, I can't tell you that he did what they said he did, but I know he's very abusive to women. He just feels like he can have whatever he wants. He's just empowered that way. So it doesn't surprise me that this kind of allegation came out about him. Not trying to condemn or convict Antonio in the court of public opinion. I'm just showing you this is where you'll hear more and more of this kind of reaction because it's going to be open season on this issue because he's being allowed to play football. And there are going to be many people who, once they see him in the Patriot uniform and they see him catch passes, and I'm with you, this is the Patriot way. They are the watch this organization. They're going to say, not only are we going to play him, we're going to feature him enough. I believe he'll catch 3 balls for 30 yards. Where you just know he's had some impact on the game. And because of that, that you will have an equal amount of reaction to that, negative reaction to the fact that, oh, he's out there catching passes from Tom Brady. And by the way, to your point, there he is. He's at Tom's training facility, the TB12 facility, and he's yelling to Tom's trainer, Alex. And obviously, Alex Guerrero is now training AB. Tom Brady and AB, there's going to be extreme reaction to this. So buckle up. This is what you're asking for. I'm not surprised about the Patriots, but I am for the NFL's sake because I thought there would be some way to get out of this. And apparently, they've decided to just let it be for now.
Well, you thought they would have learned their lesson from the mistake that happened in 2014 with the Ray Rice situation, but they say you'll keep repeating the same mistake until you learn your lesson from the first mistake. So clearly they have not learned their lesson. You have this, Skip, there's a reason you have this at your discretion. This list is here for a reason. The guy, because if you were to suspend the guy, that means you don't pay him. If you suspend him and don't pay him, you're already basically saying that he's guilty of something. If you put him on this list, we're not saying you did or you didn't, because we're going to allow you to get your money. But what we need to find out, we need to talk to her, and we need to talk to you. And so we got to try to find how can we deduce as best we possibly can who's telling the truth and who's lying. You could have easily done that, Skip. What's the harm in that? You know, I don't think any fan, I'm sure there's some Patriots fans would have said, basically you're saying he didn't. No, because this is the way to protect yourself from the criticism that you're going to get. And I agree with Jerry Bell. If this, for some ungodly reason, this goes to trial, it's going to get, Skip, you know what, discovery comes out, things get said that you don't ever want to come out. And could he have settled this? Maybe she wanted more than he's willing to pay.
And if a jury decides for her...
And it's such a low standard in a civil suit. Skip, there's no reasonable doubt. It's preponderance of the evidence. That's what got Tom Brady in Deflategate. Preponderance of the evidence.
That's true.
That's what got O.J. O.J. got off.
Good point.
Then he got to the civil, and it said it's more probable than not that you did this. So $33 million. That's why so many people are unwilling, Skip, to go and try to fight a civil lawsuit, Skip, because the standard is so low. And then the commission, you had to, what do you have the list for if you're not going to use it? This is a golden opportunity for you to use it. And I don't really think the general masses would have said, okay, they want to do their homework. They want to make sure they get this right. And that's a Shaq dunk. That's not a layup. No, that's a Shaq dunk.
It's a dunk. It is. And by the way, this is also now part of public record that Wiltrese Jackson, the mother of one of Brown's 5 children, Antonio Brown's 5 children, accused him of shoving her to the ground at his home in Florida January 17th. This is just last January 17th, when she was seeking reimbursement for their son's haircut. And again, no, that doesn't mean he's guilty as accused here, but still, if you go to trial,
they bring all that.
All this will be brought up and more.
And see, the thing is with us, Skip, we try not to leap to conclusions. Well, he did this. Well, look how he behaved in Pittsburgh. Well, look how he behaved in Oakland. Well, he probably did what she said he did. Those are 3 separate incidents. But you don't get everybody sitting there and being as open-minded as you need to be in the court. They looking at him, and they see television. They see how he behaved. It's like, you know what? I can see a situation where he did that. And that's all it takes, Skip. Somebody else sees a situation where you did that, and then here we go. But I just wish the commissioner would have stepped up and said, you know what? we're gonna take a 20-second timeout on this one, and we're gonna put you on the commissioner's exempt list. We're gonna do some fact checking. We're gonna have to get to the bottom of this. And like I said, it might take 6 days, Skip. You might can talk to her for 3 or 4 hours for 2 days, and then bring AB in and talk to him, and then you're like, okay, Lisa Freer, because I'm sure she's going to be in there.
Yep.
What do you think? Who do you think's telling the truth? Because that's all you can do, Skip. Basically, it's going to come down to, because like you said, is he versus she. He said he didn't. She said he did.
This is classic.
Right.
That.
So, okay, Lisa, this is why you're making the big bucks. This is why we brought you in for this. What do you think? What does your expertise tell you in this situation? What do you think happened?
Sometimes an incident can happen in the NFL where they can sort of sweep it under their rug and it'll just sort of slowly fade away. This is not going away.
It's the NFL, Skip.
And the accusations are far, far too serious for this to just fade away.
It's such a big platform, Skip. Domestic violence has been a big issue for a long time in America. But it wasn't until it hopped on the back of the NFL and there was an NFL player involved in it that all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, domestic violence is the biggest. It's been going on. But I don't know if we've gotten to a situation where we have such a high-profile athlete in the NFL get involved in a situation like this. But now, we're here now, Skip. We're here now. And so I don't know how the NFL gets out of this. It's going to be very interesting to see what the headlines read come Monday. That's going to be the telltale.
Well, all I know is Antonio is still completely defiant because he says basically in that, what he posted, let the haters keep hating. The devil is trying to bring me down. And he uses his phrase, call God. You know, I'm calling God. Okay? So he's dug in.
Skip, I don't know if people really hate Antonio Brown. I think they hate some of the things that he's done. I think they hate the way he's acted, especially considering you make the money you make. Okay, you had a falling out with Ben. You don't like the way Ben.
No, I don't feel any hate yet.
But the Oakland situation, I don't understand. I don't know how he thought Oakland was at fault here because they couldn't put you on the field because you wanted to wear the helmet that they said you couldn't wear.
Unless he was trying to act his way out of Oakland to get to New England.
So.
Serious allegations that obviously go much deeper than football. And adding another layer to it, this game unfolds in his hometown, Miami. Liberty City, Norland High School. We'll see what that adds. All right, up next on Undisputed, it was a tough loss for the Panthers last night. How worried should they be about Cam Newton now? That's next. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. Undisputed, back in just a moment.
No mercy.
Are you ready for what's ahead? You can't always predict the future, but you can game plan for it. Generations of families and businesses have harnessed the power of Pacific to help them reach their unique goals. Whether you need to save enough money to meet your needs, ensure your family is protected, or make sure you don't run out of money, Pacific Life has a variety of financial solutions that can help. Pacific Life counts more than half of the 100 largest U.S. companies as its clients and has been named one of the 2019 World's Most Ethical Companies by the Ethisphere Institute, protecting what matters most to people for 150 years and counting. That's the power of Pacific. Ask a financial professional about how Pacific Life can help you game plan for your future, or visit www.pacificlife.com.
No mercy.
Cam Newton struggled with his accuracy again last night. The Panthers QB went 24 for 50, just over 300 yards, and no touchdowns. Late in the game, the Panthers had a chance to snag the lead. 4th and short from the 2-yard line, Carolina ran a direct snap to Christian McCaffrey, who, you can tell, came up just short. After the game, Cam put the blame squarely on his own shoulders. Take a listen.
Through my lens, it's hard to look defensive guys in their eyes after a game like this, you know what I'm saying? Because, offensively, we don't hold up our end of the bargain. All fingers are just pointing back to me specifically in offense. I have to be better. No matter what physical condition I'm in, no matter what foot, shoulder, I ain't get the job done tonight, man, and it's frustrating. I wish I could say something other than that, but that's the facts. I say it all the time, man. Sometimes you find yourself in a blender, and only person that can get you out is yourself.
Well, to Cam's point, he's now lost 8 straight games and hasn't thrown a touchdown in 4 consecutive contests. So, Shannon, how concerned are you with Cam?
Skip, I'm concerned with how he looked, and I'm concerned with the situation around him. Let's just take the offense, Skip, and I think the thing is, and I kind of made this mistake also, I look at Cam taking the team to the Super Bowl. He's been an MVP. And then you get Norv Turner, and we know what Norv Turner represents as an offensive mind. Norv Turner learned his system from Ernie Zampese. Ernie Zampese was on the Eric Coryell staff at San Diego. So this system is all about timing. I think the best picture I can give you is Troy Aikman. If you watch Troy and the way they ran, you look at Michael Irvin, the routes that he ran. Square out, the bang 8, which is called the skinny post, and the deep comeback.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
When Troy Aikman foot, 5 steps, when that back foot hit, the ball was coming out.
Before he's coming out of his break.
Exactly.
Yep.
You had to be where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
What happened last night, you take a guy like Cam. Now, Cam is not the most accurate, the most consistently accurate quarterback they've been. What Tampa did early was they got to him and they got pressure on him. They didn't necessarily get him down, but they got pressure on him. And so what happened as he spent later in the ball game, Skip, he started seeing ghosts that weren't there. So he started throwing even more off his back foot, and he started throwing off the wrong platform. I don't know what Norv was thinking. You see your left tackle struggling. Can you put a tight end over there, or can you put McCaffrey on that side and say, as you're releasing, chip Shaq Barrett on your way out?
Shaq Barrett was living in Cam's lap all night.
All night long under duress. They said Cam threw 10 passes under duress. Every single, and he was 0 for 10 on those passes.
Yep.
Skip, you got to hit 20%, 30%, even 40% of those throws. And he missed some throws that were open. Cam's injured. He said it. He said, no matter what's going on, be it my foot, we didn't know anything about a foot, or my shoulder, I got to play better. And Skip, last Sunday I watched, but you're watching so many games, I can't specifically just watch Cam while watching 6 other games that's going on at a given time.
Likewise.
Last night, I had an opportunity to just sit and watch Cam. Something wrong with Cam. Cam's better than this. Now, the left tackle didn't help his situation. I think the young man's name is Darrell Williams. He missed last year with a knee injury. He spent the majority of his career at right tackle. There have been very few guys, Skip, that can make that transition. You're a right tackle and then make the transition to the left side, because they normally put their best rushers on that side because that's the quarterback's blind side. But so your best offensive linemen must play that position because they put their best and normally their most athletic defensive linemen on that side.
Yep.
Skip, it got bad. And then on the final play of the game, this is when you know something's wrong with Cam Newton.
I agree with this.
Cam Newton in his career, Skip, on the 4th and 1 call, 3rd or 4th and 1 in his career, Cam has converted 89%. Not only do you not let him touch the ball to hand it off, you motion him out of the backfield.
Ironically, you talked about ghost. They call that ghost motion, where he just sort of slides off to the right. Yeah.
That should have told, because in that situation, I'm like, Cam, you say you Superman. Well, I need you to put your cape on. We're going to direct snap this ball to you, and I want you to get a running start, and I want you to go over the top.
Okay. Obviously, Norv Turner had decided he's not capable right now in whatever condition he's in to do that.
And the moment they direct snap the ball to C-Mac, Christian McCaffrey. They put, I think it's Samuel, when he goes in motion, Skip, and that corner doesn't move, it's not man coverage.
He did not
So
move.
now what do?
Nobody moved.
Nope. So now, it's looking back at it, C-Mac probably says, you know what, I should have just put my left foot in dirt and go downhill.
Except everybody stayed home, and he was going to have to hit some big people and try to outwit them,
But Skip, you got a guy that's 205, and he's running east and west, and he doesn't have no momentum. Now, he has to get a yard, and the corner's right there. Now, I'll take my chance if he's going north and south. If he got a head of steam, I believe he can run over the corner and get a yard. But his momentum is taking him at an angle. And the corner just rides him out of bounds. Cam is injured. Cam did not play well last night. I mean, that's 50 throws. That's too many throws, Skip. for a guy that's in his condition. They're going to have to run the ball better. But this was not a very good display for Cam or the Carolinas offense.
Man, all I know is something is very wrong with Cam Newton.
Yes.
And I know we all get fixated. We try to hold on to our memories of 2015. He was pretty accurate in 2015.
Yes.
He won the MVP, got them to the Super Bowl. He was sensational all the way up to the Super Bowl. And then he wore somebody else around him like a belt, and that was Von Miller. And yet, last night, during the Fox telecast, Troy Aikman said, I see nothing and I've heard nothing to tell me that he's hurt. And I take that to my bank because obviously Troy and Norv are very close because Norv was like a big brother to him in Dallas. Helped turn around Troy's early career.
Correct.
And so if I accept that there's nothing wrong, that's really scary. That's even scarier.
Right.
Because now it's either in his head or he's just sort of battered physically and psychologically to where he's just starting to lose it.
We saw a guy that was taken as the #1 draft pick the year after Cam. His name is Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Now, we
Same-
talked
okay.
We
You
talked
got it.
about the beating that he took against the
It's
Broncos.
a good analogy. Yep.
Do you remember the beating that Cam took that opening night after the Super Bowl
Do
in Denver?
I? Oh, Lord have mercy, do I? Talk about laying the wood. Whew.
And those were not just body shots, they were head
In
shots.
fact, I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback take more abuse than he did that night. That was horrendous.
Yes.
That can take a year off your
Yes.
life, right? Okay, so what troubled me the most last night was he was laboring to throw. It's like he would see it and
He had to put everything
he
into
had
it.
to really work it up. Like, I got to reach down for this one. You know, I got to really guts this one up to try to get it out there.
Right.
And it was so hit and miss. Sometimes he'd throw a nice ball.
Right.
And then the next one would miss by 15 yards. And you say, what are you doing?
Right.
Are you hurt? Well, then he did suggest after the game, he said, no matter my physical condition, no matter my foot, my shoulder. And so I think, wait, are you suggesting then that you are fighting still with your surgically repaired shoulder?
Because remember, Skip, we said the same thing about Luck. Early on, he couldn't throw the ball over 10 yards, and he gradually played his way back into it. And then before long, probably by the 4th or 5th week, he was throwing the ball over the top of people's heads. Is this what we're going to get from Cam? I don't know, because I don't know if his line can protect him totally. At least they put enough pieces around Andrew Luck in front that they protected him.
So for me, where last night's game hit bottom for Cam was actually a few plays before the finale, but it was 2nd and 10 at the Tampa Bay 11, and he had DJ Moore on just a little out route where he just broke completely open, and I know that Shaq Barrett got there again and was kind of on Cam's leg. But again, it's a throw. If you step into it with conviction, you usually can pull that one off. MVP Cam would have pulled that throw off. And he missed him by, I don't know, 10 yards?
And what do you see, Skip? You said if he'd have stepped into it. If you notice, he's falling back.
He's falling back.
He don't. That pressure has gotten there so much. Like, nah, I ain't finna take that shot.
No. And Shaq didn't get him up around the arm, and here he's just like hanging on a leg.
Right.
But still, the Cam we knew and loved, man, he pulls that throw off. And
I don't know, Skip, was he throwing to the guy in front or throwing to the DJ Moore?
I'm not even sure the way the ball came out.
Exactly, because was he throwing to the guy, because he throws it over one guy's head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
No man's
Terrible.
land.
And then late in the first quarter of the telecast last night on Fox, there was a riff of plays from the game in question that you said you barely watched, which was the Rams at Carolina game. And if we have that, if we could see it just bang, 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 and it's all the bad throws, because I didn't focus on this either. These are all of his bad throws against the Rams. And look how off target all these throws are. This is just like scary bad, scary bad, scary bad. Wow, what are you doing, Cam? Miss, there's the pick. So my point here, I'm not trying to belabor the situation. Then he throws, there's one he just threw in the dirt.
But that's simple pitch and catch there. You got to complete those, Skip.
Yeah. Just missing open receivers. Just a little miss or a lot miss. Okay, so the point is, it didn't just start he didn't just have a bad night. He's had 2 bad games. Jen's point, he's lost 8 in a row.
Right.
Where are we going with this? It's why I dug in with you yesterday, and I'm not proud of this, but we were saying, who would you take right now for this year? And I said, I'll take Jameis because he's less worse than Cam. Well, last night he was less worse because he slightly outplayed Cam. And I'm not boasting about how Jameis played, but at least he did one thing last night. He didn't turn it over, right? That'll work. So that was a start under Bruce Arians. And Jameis did throw 2 nice balls. He threw one really nice deep ball to Mike Evans, and the touchdown, if we could see those real quick, they're big time. Jameis is highly capable of these throws. This is to Mike Evans. That's sweet.
Yeah. Dropping it down the chimney.
That is down the chimney. And you'd like to see a little more of this from Jameis to Mike Evans because he's really good. And then the touchdown, that's a rifle shot. Jameis is capable. So, again, I think Bruce Arians, I'm still surprised Bruce is not calling plays. This is the first time he handed off to Byron Leftwich. And again, I'm sure Byron will do a fine job. But Bruce Arians, this was his calling card, his calling plays. So I was sort of hoping he would call Jameis's plays because it's something to have Bruce call them instead of a first-year coordinator.
And the thing is, if you look at it, Jameis, his throwing motion reminds you of Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, that's true.
He runs around.
Maybe that's why he's calling plays.
So he probably is best suited to go, what would you like in this situation? But, Skip, something has to be. Cam, come on, Skip. Cam could not even been an NFL quarterback if he couldn't make the throws that we've seen him miss over the last 2 weeks.
Okay. I'm going to give him one last break here. You were a big, as you call him, C-Mac fan, Christian McCaffrey, in part because you played with his father and you kind of watched the kid grow up.
I did watch him grow up.
Okay. I've never been completely sold on him as an every down back, and they try to establish him as the driving force of this offense. Look at the rush yards. See him? 16 for 37 yards. That won't get it done.
Nope.
That's not enough for Cam. That's not taking enough pressure off Cam to make every throw. And again, he'll catch some balls. He always catches the as you call them, dink and dak kind of passes. But will that really threaten the defense? Not enough. So I'm not sure they're built to have balance with him. They need a sledgehammer back to establish a ground game. Like Barber for Tampa last night was hammering away at that Carolina defense, wearing it out. So I don't know. Things do not look good for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Cam threw 12 he targeted Curtis Samuel 12 times with 4 completions. DJ Moore had 14 targets. He had 9 completions. Olsen played well.
He did.
But he still looks injured, too, because he was running. I'm like, I saw him catch some passes, Skip. The old Greg Olsen, he got 41 on one, but he might have took that one to the house.
You're right.
But injuries and age, it affects us all.
He was considering strongly retiring before this year.
Right. It's just something's not right. Something's not right. Cam is better than this. I don't know if we'll ever see the Cam from 2015
I don't know either.
when he had 35 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns, and won the MVP and took a team to the Super Bowl. Yep. I don't know if we'll ever see a season like that again. But he's better than what we saw last night.
True. And the Cowboys are better than what you give them credit for, Shannon Sharpe.
There you go.
Tell you what, if there is an ankle injury, the turf last night sure didn't help. Rain delay, downpour.
That's true.
All right, Panthers get a long week now before they go on the road to face the Arizona Cardinals.
That's a win there, though.
No mercy.
Time to dive into Super 6 NFL Sunday, the new free-to-play game where you can win up to $250,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money. One of the Super 6 matchups this week is a game you can see right here on Fox. I know Skip will be watching. Cowboys at Redskins. In that game, Cowboys are favored by 6, according to Fox Bet. Dak Prescott coming off a career game, and Ezekiel Elliott saying he's finally ready to shoulder more action. For the Redskins, Adrian Peterson will be getting the start at running back after being a healthy scratch last week. Shannon, what's the final score of this one?
I got the Cowboys, Skip, and I think they'll win comfortably. I got the final score, 27-13. I'm expecting a lot more of Ezekiel Elliott. He got a couple of touches last week, but I think he'll be even better this week. I think the thing is, Skip, is that Washington, we saw what Dak did, but let's see if he can do it another time. So even though I still think they're going to stack the box, I think they'll make a concerted effort to try to hand Zeke the ball. Jonathan Allen, the big off defensive lineman, sprained MCL, so he should have a little breathing room. You love that Cowboys offensive line. You believe that might be the best run blocking unit in all of football. Well, you got to be pretty good if you're running back two of the 3 years he's been in the league. He's led the league in rushing. In all 3 years, he's averaged more rush yards per game than any other back in those 3 years. So you got to be pretty good. 3 first-round draft picks would suggest that they're pretty good. And I think Connor Williams is the left guard.
Second, yeah.
He's the left. He's the second-round pick,
yeah.
right? And Lyle Collins had that controversy.
He would have been a first.
He'd have been a first-round pick.
Absolutely.
Because he's definitely a first-round talent. And they compensated him as such.
Maybe a top 10 talent.
You may be right, Skip. If you notice, Skip, when Philly got their running game going in the second half, they totally dominated the ball game. And even though Zeke didn't get a whole lot of carries, there were, I think 13 or 14 play-action passes that Dak attempted. 12 of those was to Zeke. You see the influence that he has on the game? Even when he's not getting the football,
Really?
Skip, he's impacted.
I did not.
Yeah, you did see
I didn't notice that.
I know you did. You didn't want to know.
I saw a different game.
So he wasn't faking the ball. Play action, he did something.
Nobody was buying Cabo Zeke.
Yeah, they were.
Nobody was scared.
Skip, you saw that. You saw Randall Cobb, Jarwin running scot-free after they fake the ball into Zeke's belly and pull up, he's wide open.
Shannon Jarwin, love it.
Yeah. And plus, here's the thing. Washington also saw D-Jack get over the top of them. So now, hold on. Michael Gallup can run. He might not be D-Jack, but Dak will give him an opportunity to get deep. So I think this is a prime game in which Zeke could get his number. I can see Zeke getting 20. He might get 6 or 7 carries on the first drive. And then you get a couple of first downs, he's going to start eating. And so I
What do you think? Zeke goes for 150 maybe?
Man, go ahead. Dak going to throw for 500 this week?
According to you, that's where you're headed.
No? I don't think he got 500 even.
I cannot tell you how much I hope you're right. And I cannot tell you how much I believe you are dead wrong about this. I'm going to say it again. Division rivalry, arch rivalry, blood rivalry, historical hate between these two franchises. Throw out the stats, throw out the records, especially when Dallas goes to Washington. Bad things can happen to Dallas. The game can be far closer than you think it should be. On paper, it looks like a mismatch. On the field, it'll look like a flat-out, down-to-the-wire battle. I've covered too many of them. I've grown up with too many of them. I know what happens, especially at Washington. I know what happened last year when I thought my team was better than their team. That was Alex Smith at quarterback.
Yeah.
This is obviously Case Keenum at quarterback. But even with Alex Smith there, it went down to the wire. We got a bogus penalty. Can we see that? I just got to see it. It was an outrageous robbery. And this is what happens at Washington. They called my long snapper in his 14th season for fiddling with the football.
You can't do that.
You can fiddle. He wasn't moving it much.
You saw
Every
this,
snapper,
you tipped it up.
he was just getting a grip on the football. You know it. And they all do it. Everybody does. And they say -5. And then Brett the Fret Maher, what does he do? He goes in from 5 more yards back to 52. It would have been 47. There's something in your mind about 47,
Right.
you know, like I can make it before. But once you get to 50-something, all of a sudden, I got to hit this a little harder. And it hooked a little harder left, and it hit the upright. And we went home with the L, 20-17, instead of going to overtime.
Should have been Mason Crosby.
Yeah.
He got his there for 56.
Yeah, he missed his share against everybody but Dallas. So the point is, my quarterback went full-on warrior in the fourth quarter. He threw for 120 and set them up to get to overtime, dug them out of a hole he helped dig, because he did have a sack fumble that got recovered for a touchdown early in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But I'm just showing you what happened. And guess who the starting running back was last year at Washington for the Redskins? It was this guy named Adrian Peterson, who's back, believe it or not, in the starting lineup. And last year, he carried 24 times for 99 yards. That's pretty good,
That's
right?
very good.
For an old man. Well, the old man hates the Cowboys because the old man, Adrian Peterson, grew up just down the road from Dallas in Palestine, Texas. a diehard Cowboys fan. And I think in his heart of hearts, he has a little bitterness that they've never made a move to acquire him. Because at certain points,
especially as a free agent.
That's what I'm saying, where you were open. You were there for the taking, and for whatever reason, they didn't call.
Nope.
And it irks him a little bit, and he likes to get a little even with the team he loves. And I don't doubt he'll get 100 and some yards. He just does. Because he had some big games last year. He had 300 yards games last year.
Well, Skip, it was you guys. You remember Washington used to have this celebration. They called their receivers the Fun Bunch.
Yep.
And you remember they scored a touchdown on Dallas and Dennis Thurman.
My friend Dennis Thurman, he tried to break it up.
And that was end of the group celebration.
Yeah.
Because the next, if I'm not mistaken, the next year they put in, you could no longer celebrate as a group.
Okay.
So, I mean, okay, they scored on you. But, Skip, that was years ago. That was 30 years ago.
But, hey, it's been happening. There have been evolutions and generations of this.
And Washington was better than you guys back then.
Yeah. Harvey Martin one year, this is going way back, but he got a funeral wreath sent to his locker before the game from somebody at Washington. I don't know who it was, and he was out of his mind. You know, like you're on your way to your own funeral.
Right.
Okay.
Skip, look, the Cowboys are a talented football team. They are one of the more talented football teams in all of football. You look at what their roster from top to bottom, littered with Pro Bowlers on both sides of the football.
Yep.
The question is, could their quarterback, can he play consistent enough, long enough, to get them to where you think they should be, which is in Miami for the Super Bowl? Another question, your coach. He's coaching for something now, Skip.
He is.
He doesn't have a safety net.
Okay.
It's either now or never.
They will win in spite of the coach.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
There you go.
And I do think they're going to win Sunday at Washington, but it's going to be very close. It's a 6-point spread, and I've got it 28-25 Cowboys. And the reason I'm giving 25 to the home team is because the home team scored 27 at Eagles.
That was the back door.
Okay, well, it's 4 quarters, and within the confines of 4 quarters of a National Football League game, Case Keenum's offense put up 27 points, and they were ahead 17-0 to start with. So if they can score 27 on the Eagles, I'm going to say they can score 25 on the Cowboys defense. And I'm going to be completely, maybe over harshly objective here. But what's happened the last 2 times I've seen my defense on the field? One was here in a playoff game at L.A. at the Coliseum, and we got literally run off the field. What was it, 230 rush yards?
273. But I ain't
273. I was thinking the first half. Right, 273. And then I saw Eli Manning's offense put up almost 500 yards at Jerry World this past Sunday.
Oh, so
did I love that? No, I didn't love that.
Do
I love my defense yet? Nope, I don't.
Case Keenum, Eli. Keenum, Eli.
Okay, you know what Case Keenum is? He's like Fitzmagic. He's the gutty little battler who knows how to play.
Until he has to play and you count on him to do something. As long as he comes in as a backup, can get you like 2 or 3 games, he's good. It's when you put him in there, you're like, okay, bro, you the starter for the season.
Well,
and that's when
he was the starter at Philadelphia, and he threw for 380 yards.
And he had 258 yards those in the first half. So that means he had 122 the second half. Is that good? Can I interest you in that?
Boy, he scares me a lot more than Kirk Cousins did. He does. I'm just telling you the God's truth. I will sweat this game. I will not sleep well Saturday night into Sunday because of Case Keenum.
Easy cover.
Easy cover?
Easy cover.
Okay, give me 14 points.
No!
Why not? You just picked it 27-13. You know what? I'm up so many cases of Diet Dew. Just to prove a point to you, I won't root against my team, but I'll take 14 just so I can laugh at you on Monday when it's a close game.
No.
Well, then you don't have the courage of your conviction?
Yeah, hold on.
Your score is 27-13. Give me 13 points. I'll take 13. 13 going once.
No, he's going twice. So I'm trying to help me understand this. You and I both picked the Cowboys to win.
Yeah.
But now you want to bet me that they don't win by the number that I said they were.
I told you, I hope against hope that you're right about this. And if you're right, I would gladly, happily come in on Monday and concede you won 1 case of Diet Mountain Dew. It's down to 41, okay? It would be worth it for me because the truth is I can't lose this bet. I can't lose. I finally decided.
They're covering.
Okay.
They're covering.
All right. But 13? You're telling me I got this high-powered offense and Zeke, the freak, is going to freak on him, right?
And your guy, hold on, what about Wolf Hunter?
Yeah.
You got Jalen, and you say you need to see something from D-Law?
I do. I need to see something from all of them on defense. I haven't seen anything for 2 straight games, one last year, one this year. I'm not happy with that. I'm not convinced yet. I see the makings of. I know what happened late last year when they came together and they shut down Drew Brees, and then they shut. I'm sorry to bring that up, but that was pretty special.
Don't they got Drew Brees in a couple of weeks?
Fourth week. Yeah.
Okay, couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks.
Be a revenge game.
Okay. Well, for your guys, it's going to be a huge revenge.
Couple of weeks, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, they got a revenge game at L.A. this Sunday.
Yeah, they got
That's a whole different kind of revenge.
They got a lot of revenge games.
I know. Well, I think that might just motivate them all year.
But Skip, if I'm Washington, I'm going to make Dak prove to me he can do what he did last week again.
All right. So you're making the case. Give me 13 points. Well, you saw what my offense did to the Giants.
I know.
And Jonathan Allen's out.
Yep.
Come on. Really?
That's why I said what I said.
Josh Norman, he can't run, right? He can cover, but he can get physical, but he can't run.
I don't like that matchup.
So he's going to be stuck on Amari or Michael Gallup.
That's not a good matchup. Amari, he's not a good matchup.
Give me 13.
I ain't gonna be able to do that, Skip. I wish I could help you.
I wish you hadn't wised up this year. You suddenly got shrewd.
Makes it not quite as much fun.
Because I'm trying to figure out how you gonna bet. Okay, yeah, I got the Cowboys to win. Well, I bet you they don't win by this much. Who does that?
Well, once you established and went on the record with your score, then it's 14 points.
No.
So you'd give me 13.
I'm leaving a note for Jenny to make sure she knows. Shannon, you've got the Cowboys 27-13.
Yep.
Skip, you've got them 28-25.
25.
3 points versus
points.
14 points. Just a reminder, everybody, before the NFL games kick off on Sunday, be sure to download the Fox Sports Super 6 app and play Super 6 NFL Sunday for free. You have a chance to win $250,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money. That works, huh? Odell Beckham Jr. sparked a lot of headlines with his watch bling this week. Now, though, OBJ is taking shots at the Jets. We'll discuss that up next.
No mercy.
Week 1 is in the books, but DraftKings isn't finished celebrating with some huge fantasy football contests. For Week 2 of the football season, DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy football, is giving new users a free shot at over $1.5 million in prizes with your first deposit when you put in code UNDISPUTED during sign-up. Draft your lineup and feel the sweat like never before. Every run, throw, and catch mean more with a DraftKings lineup on the line. Plus, all new and existing users can get a deposit bonus up to $500. That's some extra cash to play with this football season. Nothing adds to the sweat of watching the game quite like having a shot at over $1.5 million in prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use code UNDISPUTED. For a limited time, both new and existing users can get a deposit bonus up to $500. New users, don't forget to enter my code UNDISPUTED to get a free shot at over $1.5 million. Yeah, in prizes with your first deposit. That's code UNDISPUTED, only at DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Deposit bonus requires a 25 times playthrough. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
No mercy.
Odell Beckham Jr. unloaded on former Browns coach, now Jets defensive coordinator Greg Williams. OBJ says that when he was a Giant and Williams was with the Browns, Williams told defenders to target Odell in a 20-17 preseason game. The receiver goes on to say one of the hits he suffered in that game is ultimately what caused him to have ankle surgery. Odell missed 12 games that season and said it's something he'll need to look out for in the Browns' upcoming game against the Jets this Monday. Shannon, any truth, you think, to OBJ's claim?
There's a little truth even in a lie. The only truth in that statement, Skip, he got hurt on that play.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe that Greg Williams would say, you know what, guys, we want you to injure Odell in a preseason game. They're not in the same division. They don't play each other. They weren't going to play each other anymore. Given what the commissioner told Greg Williams after Bountygate, if anything else like this happens, you're done for good.
That's true.
And this man's going to risk his career on Odell in a preseason game? It's just hard for me to believe that. But it just goes to show you, Skip, guess what? They got him now because he's already thinking about the hits he might possibly take.
That's true.
I never worried about that. No matter whatever you done to me, I wasn't worried about it. I'm gonna go play.
How can you play that game?
It's called football.
Yeah, I know.
The guy's gonna try to get you down any way you can. Now, if you, I can believe Greg told him, look, we want to be physical. We're gonna play a physical brand of football, And whatever we need to do to get a guy on the ground, we're going to get him on the ground. Now, was that, and at the time, Skip, I said, that's dirty. I said, the DB didn't have to do that.
Did you say that?
I said that at the time because that was 2 years ago. Skip, I said, no, that's dirty. Go. He aims right at the guy's knee. But I don't believe Greg Williams coached him to tackle like that. That was just him. That's what the guy did. I just hard for me to believe, knowing what the commissioner told Greg Williams, knowing what's at stake. Well, I mean, if he's so confident it happened, go to the commissioner, whomever told him that, they're still on the Browns, that's the way he was instructed. Have him to go up there and say that he did this, and have the commissioner have a conversation with Greg Williams.
Yep. Okay. Odell Beckham Jr. is a smart young man. He's a student of the history of this league. He knows what's going on. So he picked the easiest target you could pick to level that kind of accusation against because of the Bountygate history of Greg Williams. And Greg Williams has a reputation of coaching hard.
Yes.
We saw him on Hard Knocks a year ago, challenging his defense to play more physically.
Yes.
And I do not doubt, even before that was a preseason
game, correct.
I do not doubt that Greg Williams read the riot act to his whole defense and made a point. I'm assuming or guessing that he made a point. Odell does not like to get hit. Let's hit him.
Exactly,
okay?
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's just lay it on him and see if he likes that, because he usually shrinks from that, or you can sort of take him psychologically out of the game if you smack him early.
Yeah.
Now, I'm with you, and I think we talked about this play.
We did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Remember, it was at the height of the new helmet-to-helmet controversy, where DBs are all saying, or not DBs, everybody in defense, linebackers are saying, hey, wait a second, we can't lead with our helmet? Well, now you're making us go low.
Lower.
Okay, so how low do we go? What's our strike zone now? Is it just at the waist? Is that all we can do is hit the waist? And some of the DBs were saying, well, okay, you're asking for it because we're going to have to go real low to upend people, especially like a Rob Gronkowski, where we're just going to hit him below, between knee and ankles.
Right.
And as you know, if cleat sticks in turf, you got big trouble at that speed.
Yeah.
And he came in hard and very low, and it took on the look of a very dangerous play.
It did.
Right?
Yes.
And he did pay for it. Now, whether it led to this, which led to that, it's a little far-fetched to me. Maybe there's you're compromising this for that, maybe, but I don't know that you can leap to a conclusion that he wrecked my career. He derailed me.
And the thing is, Skip, DBs hear this. They hear him complaining about, that was a low hit. So guys are going to come in and do things to annoy you, to bother you.
Okay.
That's why guys would talk to you. Oh, do you remember, Odell? After the incident that got with Josh Norman, how guys would try to get up under your skin? Well, you just gave him a blueprint. Hit him. Look, I get Odell. You want everybody to try to tackle you around your waist, yada, yada, yada. But if you're going to get the ball, Skip, I'm going to get you down any way I can. You're not going to get a touchdown. You're not going to be doing the Michael Jackson. You're not going to be doing all your funny dances in the end zone on my watch. So if I got to get you down by hitting you in the ankle, hitting you in the knee, in a preseason game, Skip, I don't believe I'm not. If I'm a defender, I don't believe I'm going down there like that. Not the preseason game, but come regular when the games actually count. Yeah, you getting down. I don't know if I got to get you by your ankles, your knee, it doesn't matter. I'm getting you on the ground. Now, I'm not going to intentionally try to, injure somebody. I see him, like, just go diving in. I believe that guy could have got Odell down because Odell had his back to him. I believe he could have put his helmet in Odell's back, put his shoulder pad in Odell's back.
He could have. I agree.
And I believe he went low, and I said at the time, that's a dirty play. He didn't have to do that. But I don't believe Greg Williams instructed that. Do I believe Greg says, hey, I want you guys to be physical today? Absolutely. And all DCs, the offensive coordinator says, offense, Skip, I want you guys to play physical today. I want you to impose your will. Because it goes both ways, Skip. Because I want you in the fourth quarter to feel me and to know I've been there. You've been in the ball game for the previous three. Well, when guys hit Odell, Skip, in the first quarter, I'm trying to send a message to you for later in the ball game that even though I might not be there, but you remember I was, it's just like we thought Cam was seeing ghosts last night. Oh, that happens to receivers also.
It does. No, I agree. So I said a few minutes ago on this show that the punishment Cam Newton took in that opener at Denver following the Super Bowl game was the most punishment I've ever seen a quarterback take in a game. Well, right there with it, maybe 1A, was the punishment Brett Favre took
Bounty Gate.
at New Orleans in the Bounty Gate game,
Yeah,
which
NFC
was the
Championship
NFC
game.
Championship game. Because Peter King reported after the game, he couldn't get up off the training table. He was so beat up.
Right.
Had a hard time walking to the bus after the game. Well, that's the way Greg Williams coaches.
Right.
And again, you don't want to pay for these hits, but I'm sure he was saying, we got to knock him out of the game somehow, because he's it for them. He's the reason they got here. So we got to hit him as many times as possible and try to knock him out of the game. Well, this is old school NFL, and now we're in the enlightened NFL.
Correct.
But you came up a little bit in the old school period, and I covered the real old school because I covered Buddy Ryan, who was Greg Williams before Greg Williams.
Yes.
Because Buddy Ryan had his bounties going on against Dallas kicker at one point. You know.
But, I mean, literally, you put bounties on players.
Yeah,
Skip, you could put a bounty. Oh, $2,000, $3,000 if you knock this guy out of the game. Okay. And that was the Skip.
I think that was commonplace for a long time in the league.
Because, Skip, the best player, whoever the best player was, your quarterback, wide receiver, running back, if I could get you out of the game, it greatly increased my chance of winning. Now, Skip, I wasn't trying to end your career, but if I could knock you out of the game for this week, I hope you're a speedy return for next week. You get them to Dickens. But with Metcalf or Tim Brown or Rod Woodson, the return of Mel Gray, I was trying to just make him chop his feet so I can come in from the angle and put my helmet in his ear hole.
Yep.
And if I rung his bell and he was out for the game, bro, you okay? Sorry about that. But it increased my chance to increase my team's chances of winning. That was Skip. You want everything so on a player, even the bottom of his feet.
Yep.
That's what you tried to do. Football in its pure essence, Skip, is about imposing your will on another man.
Yep.
Because if you look at football, Skip, you're trying to get a man to do something against his will.
That's true.
I'm trying to go here. He's trying to prevent me from going there. Wide receiver want to go here. DB doesn't want him to go there. So I'm trying to impose my will on you. Odell, that's football. Bro, I mean, you dress in your watch and have your jersey cut and a little T-shirt hanging up underneath, and you got the little wrist. All that's pretty. That look, well, you see Odell is sharp. But you catch that ball, I'm trying to dirty that uniform up, bro.
Yep.
That's simple.
And I thought you made a great point. Odell is already talking himself out of the Monday night game. He's going to talk his way psychologically right out of the action because he's going to go in looking over his shoulder and not confident in what he's doing.
And they got a safety, Jamal Adams, that will knock your helmet loose.
Yep. So Greg Williams' defense, you can book it. They are going to come after Baker Mayfield because they got to back up Trevor Siemian at quarterback. So that's pretty much all they got.
And plus, he was the defensive coordinator, Skip, when Baker Mayfield was the quarterback in Cleveland.
Yeah, no, he knows.
So he knows strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. I'll be watching this one, except when the Jets are on offense.
But Greg, Skip, you know Greg loved the blitz.
Ooh.
So this is what you know about him. If you'll blitz Peyton Manning on third down in the Super Bowl,
He did.
you rest assured he'll come get Baker Mayfield.
Right. Yep, you got it.
It'll be Odell Beckham's return to MetLife Stadium for the first time since being a Giant, and obviously had a lot of success there in 5 seasons, so it'll be a good one. All right, what do these guys expect from Antonio Brown on Sunday? That's up next.
No mercy.
Antonio Brown is expected to make his Patriots debut Sunday in Miami, despite his first practice coming only 2 days ago. Yesterday, Brown worked out at the TB12 Therapy Center with Tom Brady. Brown joins a loaded New England receiving corps that faces a weak Dolphins defense. So, Skip, if indeed we do see AB play, how much impact do you think he's going to have?
However much Tom Brady wants him to have. In this game, in this stadium, against this team, again, Antonio's obviously from Miami.
Hometown.
Won't this be kind of like a scrimmage? Kind of like a camp practice, right? I think you can name the totals, whatever. I'm going to go at least 3 catches for at least 30 yards. And I'm going to say he scores 1 touchdown.
Wow.
Because I think if they get in position to score 1, that Tom will try to see to it that he catches it, just to initiate him, welcome him to New England. And I want to be clear about this. I told you this a couple days back. I picked the Patriots before the season started to win it all, and I do not feel as confident in my pick with him in the mix.
You think
because
he messed it up, huh?
I do think he'll mess it up, and I do think they'll allow him to mess up their flow because they're so proud of their tradition, which is not the prettiest tradition, of taking your trouble player who failed for you, who flamed out here, and saying, watch this. Watch what our culture and our system will do for him. He will be a model citizen for us. He will be a contributor for us. He will become a winning football player for the New England Patriots because that's the Patriot way. That's what we do.
Right.
So the watch this franchise that some might call the evil empire are at it again. But this is about as glaring as it gets because of the pending civil suit now against Antonio on top of all of his misbehavior and all of his incidents just over the last 1 year.
Correct.
Just 1 year.
Yep.
And I'm not even talking about what didn't happen at Pittsburgh, how it fell all apart at the end in Pittsburgh. It's been one thing after another, leading to the civil suit. So now it's hanging over the whole NFL. It's already stained the 100th anniversary of the National Football League, and yet Tom Brady and company are saying, watch this, because are they laying low? No, Antonio is posting a video of him working out at the TB12
Training
facility, which is very near their practice field right there in
Right.
Patriot Place, right by Gillette
Gillette
Stadium.
Stadium.
So he's already there, and he's working out with Alex Guerrero, Tom Brady's trainer. So they have no shame. They're not running from this at all. They're not saying, let's wait and see. They're saying, no, full speed ahead. We are all in with AB. Tom Brady has taken him under his wing, and he's going to show him how to be a Patriot, how to play football the right way, how to be a winning football player. So, I don't know. Maybe he'll catch 5 balls, but I'll say 5 targets, 3 catches, 30 yards, 1 touchdown. Welcome to New England, Antonio Brown.
Skip, I agree with you. I don't believe Coach Belichick would have brought this man in to have him sit on the sidelines. I believe he's going to play. I believe I had somewhere between 20 and 25 snaps, and I said he'll get between 3 and 4 passes. Now, I don't know. I didn't say he'll score a touchdown, but that's what he's going to do. They're going to try to get him up to speed as quick as they possibly can. And Skip, I noticed a lot of times like this, memorization, because each week you advance because a defensive team might be a heavy cover 2 or a heavy cover 1, and so you call plays that's going to be best suited against, the defense that you're going to face. And so I think in order to help AB, because you have to memorize a lot of things, they just call a play, and you have to understand what you have to do. But Tom Brady can call that play, and if AB is playing the X receiver, he can say X comeback, or X dig, or X slant, or X deep over, until he progresses, and then once he starts hearing a 2-jet flanker drive, he'll automatically know he has a go route.
Yeah.
So we can tag it to make it a lot easier for him until he hears the verbiage over and over, and he understands, okay, I hear this call, okay, I got this route, or I got that route. So you can make it easier for him. But it'd be hard for me to believe that he can step in there after a week of practice and just Tom Brady calls a play, and he automatically knows what he has to do, sight adjust, so forth and so on. But I do believe that that Coach Belichick is going to put his butt out there on the field, and he's not a decoy. You don't pay $15 million for a decoy. You're going to put him in. Let's see what he can do. We want to show you what we have now. I agree with you. They didn't need an AB. Looking at what we saw Sunday, barring an injury, there was going to be I still believe it's going to be between them and Kansas City. But AB is the Patriots, let's just say for the sake of argument, I'm down south. People like in the South love potato salad.
Absolutely.
They brought
She knows.
They brought AB and put raisins on it. You don't really need raisins in a potato salad, but some people, to make it fancy, or make it look good, they put it in the case. They got potato salad, they got raisin stack. Like, come on, do we really need this? This is a good potato salad to begin with. You don't really need it. I don't think they needed AB, but boy, Skip, if he's anything like he was, let's just say he's not going to get 170 targets. But if he's anywhere close to the production that he was in Pittsburgh, with the limited amount of targets that he's going to get, let's just say for the sake of argument, over 16 games, he get 100 targets. Skip, this thing's going to be tough to deal with because you got Edelman that has a two-way option on most routes. You got Josh Gordon who can make plays, and he's unbelievable once he gets the ball in his hands. And then you got to deal with James White and Rex Burkhead that can catch the football and run the ball along with Sonny Michel. You're going to have your work cut out for him.
Well, what a perfect entry point for him because the Patriots, I think, can name the score in this game.
Yes.
Whatever they want to score, they'll score.
Yes.
Because I think I just saw Lamar Jackson go down there and win 59-10.
Yeah.
And he completed 17 passes for 324 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And had a QBR of 99, scale of 0 to 100, so he's close to perfect against the Dolphins defense. And now Minkah Fitzpatrick they've allowed him to go seek a trade, so it's just like mutiny. Everybody wants out.
Yeah.
So again, if the Patriots were playing Wade Phillips defense at the Coliseum on Sunday in LA,
right.
That's a whole different ball game.
Correct.
So maybe he barely plays in that game or doesn't play at all.
Right.
I don't know if they're playing the Ravens at Baltimore, maybe he doesn't play at all. But what a perfect welcome.
Warm-up, tune-up.
Yeah, well, here it is. Let's have a practice game at Miami, where, by the way, Tom Brady is 7-10 lifetime at Miami. It's his house of horrors.
Right.
Except this, not now, because it usually comes in December when they're playing in the cold and have to go into the dripping humidity.
Yeah, it's a big difference because we played a playoff game when I was in Baltimore, Skip, and it was we leave it's 20 degrees, and then you get to Miami, it's 85, 90. And
it's humid.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But they're going to have to change the QB rating, Skip. Because if Lamar Jackson had a perfect QB rating of 158.3, Brady might have a 200.7. Because, I mean, this is, but, yeah, 18, Skip, that's a lot. I mean, think about it. Like you said, you was talking about yesterday, that is a professional football team. And the odds maker says, yeah, they're a professional football team. 18 and a half. That's 2 touchdowns and a field goal, Skip.
I think it came back down. Didn't it go up to 19?
It was at 19 at one point. I mean, we get Alabama playing South Carolina, Alabama playing, somebody, Vanderbilt for sake, because I think that line was like 32. But anyway, we get that, Skip.
You want to talk about baseball?
No, we talking about football. It's football season.
Yeah, we are the national champions in baseball.
We're talking football season. How much did you chip in to get old Kumar Rocker?
Yeah.
How much you chip in for that?
I didn't chip in.
You chipped in something.
He came for the education.
It ain't coming no education.
It's the best education in the world.
I promise you, that $15 million signing bonus that he could have got by going to
He'll get it. He'll get it. And he'll have a degree. He'll be good.
LeBron got a degree?
No.
Kobe got what?
Okay.
KD?
They're doing okay.
I guess who Vanderbilt plays next week?
What do you got?
LSU.
Oh, that might be
Skip may not be speaking to me
trouble.
next Friday.
That's
Yeah,
trouble.
hold on. Drop the anchor. What's your fight? Drop the anchor.
Drop it on my head.
Yeah, the Commodore.
Last quick point. I'm going to say this one more time. Because Belichick went Randy Moss earlier this week.
He did.
It was before the lawsuit came out, but again, the civil suit. But he said, you guys said it wouldn't work with Randy Moss. So he went AB to Randy Moss comparison. And I ask one more time, with Randy Moss, Coach Belichick, you won what? You won nothing. You had him for 3 years and 4 games, and you didn't win a title, and that's what you're all about.
And you did end up trading him.
You did, back to Minnesota.
Yeah, so obviously something wasn't working out.
Well, he was shutting down in that game, speaking of Miami, on Monday night at Miami. So my point is, they got mossed by Randy Moss because they went all Moss heavy, and they set records. Then they got to the Super Bowl, and they threw 48 passes, and they ran 16 times for 45 yards, and they lost 17-14 to the New York Giants. So now I'm just saying you're falling back into a Moss-like trap with AB. If you say, watch this, NFL, we're going to make him a superstar for us, and he's going to be a model citizen superstar, be careful, because I don't love my pick as much.
I don't think Lawrence Maroney could ever run the ball. They could ever run the ball like they can now with Michelle, Burkhead, and those guys.
No.
It's a different team because we saw last year, Skip, what they morphed into come playoff time. Yeah, Brady had unbelievable games against San Diego and KC, but that running attack, Sonny Michel and Burkhead was unbelievable.
It was. Well, they led the playoffs.
And then we saw what happened in the Super Bowl. Tom really had basically, the big completion to Gronk, the 29-yarder,
Yeah.
but Michelle and Burkhead was just like dominating in the run game. So they possess that.
Here we go.
It'll be an interesting soap opera to watch unfold,
I'd
however
say.
it does. All right, Sports Illustrated put out their top 100 NBA players list. Do Skip and Shannon have issues with it?
Yeah.
We'll discuss that when we come back.
No mercy.
So, SI.com releasing their top 100 NBA players heading into the upcoming season. Giannis takes over that #1 spot after winning his first MVP last season. Fitting for Skip, I'm going to dare to say his name. Kawhi comes in at #2. LeBron James ranked 3rd overall. This list was based on past performance, anticipated improvement, and possible decline. All right, Shannon, take some shots, put on your analyst hat. Do you have any problem with these rankings?
Yeah. I mean, for the
I
first
know.
For the first time.
3 should have been 1.
You know.
Yeah.
For the first time since 2013, when they first instituted this top 100, the king, LBJ, is not sitting comfortably on top of the throne. And I get it. I get it. You know, he missed a few games last year, had the groin. When he came back, things didn't take off like they want, like he thought they would. But they went and got a 6'10" guy with a brow. He's the 6th ranked player in the top 100. So when you pair those two guys together, but I've never seen.
So this is 2 for 1. So that means LeBron should be 3 because AD's going to.
No, actually, he should be #1, given the circumstances that AD is #6. And so he should have been #1, knowing he says based on past performance and what they see with the improvements that the team have made, Skip Bayless. But I want to go to #2, because I've never seen a guy get more out of one playoff run as this man. Now, LeBron had that in 16, and I don't even know if he got this kind of hype. Last year, 2 years ago, LeBron was 34-9-9, and then get what Kawhi got. And he beat a battered team to begin with. We all know Kawhi had an unbelievable playoff run. But if that 7-foot monster there, I'm not so sure if Klay doesn't get hurt, we're heaping this praise and adulation on Kawhi like we're doing right now.
Agreed.
But you know what? I'm going to let the man have his day. You know what, Jen? I ain't going to rain on the man parade. I'm out here in L.A. I hadn't seen rain in almost 3 months now.
Yep.
So I ain't going to rain on Kawhi's parade. He's happy he did it. How he did it, why he did it is unimportant at this point in time. But you got a day of reckoning. In about 40 days, something going to give.
You're going to be there.
I'm sure is.
Yep. You better take an umbrella inside because you're going to get rained on.
Well, rain for what?
It's going to rain on your parade.
Oh, we got this one. Got this one. You want to do on it right now? Right now, Skip Bayless. I got the Lakers right now. I ain't no wait nothing.
To win the championship?
No, to beat the Clippers opening night.
No, I'm not doing that. You might have one hurrah early. Yeah, you might. It'll be all LeBron's got left in the tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. Many problems I have with this list, but I'm going to start with this problem. Help me out. Did Kevin Durant retire? Is he still active?
Skip, he ain't playing.
Oh, do we know for a fact?
Yeah, we
he's
know
not gonna
for a
play?
fact.
We know for a dead solid fact he's not even going to try to come back in April.
That's what got him in the walking boot as it is,
Well, we
trying
don't
to
know
come
that
back.
for a fact, but he is still active?
Yes.
Or maybe I missed the story.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Kevin Durant is by far still the best player in the NBA, and he deserves to be ranked #1 on this list because he's still a player. I don't get it.
No.
How can he? It's like he's out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
What are you doing?
That's how it works, Skip
He
Bayless.
showed you again this past playoff run. Every time you saw him, you said, uh-oh, it's different with that guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If he had stayed healthy in the end, we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah, I believe
And
we
I
would
agree
have.
about Clay.
Yeah.
Clay plus KD. Woo, man. Okay, that's my first problem. Now, #2 is #2. No, he's not. He's just not #2. He is being overrated because he's not a closer, and they are going to have an issue because they have 2 non-closers as their 2 new quote-unquote superstars.
Paul George was closing in OKC.
No, I don't think so. He's not made. He's got a little George Paul. In
Yeah.
he does.
You call him a poor man's LeBron.
He's a poor man's LeBron, and so no, I'm not buying that. So before I get to your man, I'm going to say this again. When Joel Embiid is not sick or hurt, because he was sick and hurt and sick and hurt and sick and hurt all through that Toronto series.
Just
It seemed
sick of being hurt.
Okay, well, that is true. But sometimes he had some kind of nausea going on. I don't know what was going on. So when he's healthy, and I'll throw this in, when he's happy, he's the best player in the league. I don't see anything else like him as a force on both ends of the floor, and he's 7th on this list. Now, I'm going to go back to the top quickly. Giannis got exposed. I'm sorry, I don't get this runaway train that is the Giannis hype, because we saw what Toronto did. They just took him out of the game. He has no mid-range. I was going to say, I wrote that down. I just saw a week ago what Brazil did, and they rubbed his nose in it because the coach took a shot at a 40-year-old shut him in. Okay? and you ranked him number 1? Well, what are you thinking? Which brings me to number 3. The only way your man is number 3 is on reputation and projection. And I'll give you the reputation, but I will not give you the projection, because I saw what I saw last year. I saw an aging superstar. I saw 28 and 27 in the games he started for the Los Angeles Lakers. I saw a blooper reel of lowlights.
Oh, my goodness.
Could we see that again?
No,
you know
we
what?
don't need
I
to
haven't
see
seen it.
We don't need to see it.
I haven't seen it in too long.
Skip, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Wait.
Skip, you ought to be ashamed of
you
yourself.
threw the ball in off the backboard, the back of the backboard.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, wait, what is this? Oh, Kuzma just shoved him out to play 3-point defense. How can you, what are you doing,
You ought to be
LeBron? Pick up the ball, pick up the ball. Oh, he kicked it out of bounds. That's the 3rd best player in the league. Mario Hezonja blocked his last-second unclutched shot. I thought it was clutch sports.
Skip.
It's unclutched.
But they said the reason why they put him, the reason why he wasn't at the top is because he gave up on playing defense and the amount of minutes that he's accumulated in the previous 16 seasons.
So if he gave up on playing defense, how can you rank him 3rd?
Because he's still a bad man. He's still bad.
You know what? He's not a top 10 player right
Man,
now.
you ought to stop.
He's not.
Skip, baby,
you know what?
stop doing
Russell
that.
Westbrook was 12th on this list. I'll give LeBron 11th. Jimmy Butler was 11th. I'll give LeBron 11th.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
11th to Russ's 12. Well, he's one rung ahead of Russell
You ought to
Westbrook.
be ashamed of yourself.
No,
Everybody
I'm
knows-
telling you the truth.
Everybody knows that.
On what you saw last year, 11's
27,
pretty
8,
high.
and 8. That's what I saw.
28 and 27 was the record.
Skip, as I told you before, there have only been a handful of those seasons in which a guy scored 27 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Everybody has done it that's done it. Oscar did it 5 times, but the last time he done it, he was 26. Russ, Harden, and Jordan all did it before the age of 30. LeBron James has done it the last 2 years at age 33 and 34. And the man dropped off a cliff where there's a lot of guys that's going head first. Geronimo! Want to dive off that same cliff.
And now I have to read via our man Chris Haynes on Yahoo
What he wrote you?
that LeBron is telling Lakers brass he should be the
Let
focal
it
point.
run it.
Let AD be the man.
Yes.
So are you telling me you don't want the pressure anymore?
Skip.
Wait, you're the 3rd best player in the league, and you're saying the 1st best player,
Right.
and yet you're saying, oh, he's the man now. Wait, that means you don't want the pressure, but at the end of the year, you're going to want the attention. You want to be in the MVP race at the end of the year, but you don't want to start as an MVP candidate because you're not sure you can live up.
When is LeBron James, ever since he was a little bitty boy, had not lived up to expectation?
Last year,
He did too. But anyway.
probably in Space Jam too. that'll be
What we're gonna
glaring.
do, this is how we're gonna start this thing out, Skip. We're gonna run it through AD.
Yeah.
Now AD because we feel like we need because we're just preparing him for what's to come. LeBron James, this is gonna be the first time LeBron James is not gonna be asked to do all the scoring, all the rebounding, all the assisting. He still will do a lot of heavy lifting on the scoring end.
You know
but
what?
I think the rebound, Skip, because now you have AD, JaVale, and Dwight. For the very first time, LeBron James is not going to have to finish 1st or 2nd in rebounds on his team. He's going to finish about 4th. But I believe his assist total will go kick it up.
Okay.
The win total, points, rebounds. Yeah, we're going to come down a little bit in those because we're going to have to.
No more MVP candidate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
Oh, so you just want it on pure reputation?
No.
You can't even do your 28, 8, and 8 or whatever.
No, because we're not. That's not going to be required of us because we got AD now. See, Skip. See, the thing is, you have to understand, 28, 8, and 8 is unnecessary when you got a guy that can go get you 25, 12, and 10. I mean, 25, 12, and 2.5, which is blocks. Dwight Howard, block. JaVale, how you gonna shoot the ball, Skip? You better not come in the paint.
Oh,
Good luck with that, Kawhi.
Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Ooh. What do we got? 75 wins, maybe?
56.
56. So Jen knows Anthony Davis pretty well.
Very well.
She's covered him for a while.
Yep.
And if you happen to run into him, would you please tell him he is being set up to take the fall next year?
Because
this guy is a shrewd operator, and he's got his man Shannon espousing all the shrewd operation because what's happening is, I don't want to be the focal point. He is. So if it goes south early, LeBron will be whispering to the reporters, he's just, I thought he was better than this. I thought he could
We
carry.
know what we know what AD represents. We know. Because we've been eyeing him for a while, trying to get him to where we are, to a destination.
He led the Pelicans to, not much. He led them to, no, he didn't do that.
What did he
led them to.
What did Giannis leave Milwaukee to?
Okay, well, I just told you. You want to talk about overrated.
What did Kawhi lead the Spurs to?
Well, he led them to a 23-point lead in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals at Oakland.
Whoa.
That'll work in the third quarter. That'll work.
They hang banners for that?
Yeah. Well, they
we
would
once
have.
had a 23-point lead in a playoff game, and we blew it.
Well, then Zaza Pacheep shot happened, and that was the end of that series.
And think about that. And you had all this love for Kawhi.
That's when I used to call him by his name.
Yeah, and then you fell out of love. You fell out of love with the man, Skip.
Well,
for what?
fell out of love. He quit on me.
He ain't quit on you, Skip. The man was hurt. The man said it hurt him too. Didn't he tell you that? It hurt that he hear people talking about how he quit, and he didn't do that.
He said that, but I'm still talking about it because I'm not going to get over it.
Well, hey, he's thinking about at some point in time in his career maybe retiring a Spur. If that'll make you feel any better.
No,
he's
done.
Y'all got a statue out
He's
there?
banished.
Y'all planning a statue?
No.
He, Tim Duncan,
Quit
Mono,
his way right out of town. He missed 73 games. And he had a thigh bruise.
He was injured. He was injured.
Well, it's going to be hard when they play on opening night. I don't know. I can't.
I know.
I can't watch because I can't root for either side.
Yes, you can. Like you say, you rooted for the lesser of two evils.
You know what? I'll root for the Clippers.
Oh, that's a shame, Skip. The man quit. The Clippers have a man that quit on your team, and you're going to root for them.
They got Doc. Love Doc.
If the Clippers win, will you say his name?
No.
No. All right.
I'm done. I told you. When I'm done, I'm done.
That's all right. We're going to get you back on that side. O'Brien. When O'Brien holding that trophy up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, to your point about KD, he wasn't included on the list because of injuries, along with Boogie and John Wall, Steph Curry, James Harden rounding out your top 5 on that list. All right, up next, another subject Skip loves to debate. Do the Cowboys need to feed Zeke more this Sunday? We'll hit that one next.
No mercy.
Former Redskins running back and Hall of Famer John Riggins shared his thoughts on Dak and Zeke ahead of the Cowboys-Redskins battle this Sunday. Riggins says that Dak, may be growing this year, but Riggins also thinks that Zeke is Dak's, quote, safety blanket, which allows Dak to play better than he actually is. Dak coming off a 400-yard, 4-touchdown game, however. Zeke says he's now ready to get more involved in this offense. Shannon, do you expect Zeke to become the focal point of the Cowboys offense?
I just happen to agree with John Riggins, but we'll talk about that a little later. I do, Skip. I do believe he'll become a little more involved in this offense. He had 13 carries, and those 13 carries transpired over the first 3 quarters of the ball game. The game kind of dictated that we don't need to see any more. Zeke is out of hand, so let's save him. Let's rest him up. I can see a scenario where Zeke probably gets 6 carries in the first drive, especially if it's one of those patented drive that you loved the Dak, and he's just had so many of those 75-yard, 13-play drives that ends with the ball at the end.
3 of them last Sunday.
The Giants are a bad team.
93 yards in 13 plays.
I believe they eased Zeke into it last week. Look, let's see. I mean, we might need him, we might not. But if we don't, let's not just overwork him and run the risk of getting an injury. So I believe that they'll lean on him a little more this week. I think teams are going to make Dak do what he did last week more before they say, you know what, okay, we believe this guy can do it. We need to back off and play coverage. And if Zeke ends up with 100-plus yards, so be it. But if I'm Washington, I'm going to need to see it again. I'm going to need to see it again, Skip. I'm going to see it again. If he can do it again, I think what the really good one can do it, they can do it more times than not. And what makes Brady and Rodgers and Breeze, those guys special, is that they've done it for an extended period of time. Now, Dak had an unbelievable game. I won't short him that. He played unbelievable, even though it was against a bad team. He was throwing to wide open receivers. I think I could have got about 14 completions.
Janoris Jenkins, Jabril Peppers.
That is stop.
Alec Ogletree, Dexter Lawrence. I don't know.
Jabril
Boy, there's some pretty good players out there for the Giants.
Jabril Pepper was playing like Sergeant Pepper. You
Was
know that, right?
Well, that means he was all-time great.
No.
Because that was breakthrough, man.
Yeah, breakthrough album. He played like an album. He was stiff. But anyway, I think, Skip, the thing is that if I'm Washington, I'm going to make Dak prove it again. I'm going to make him prove that he can throw for 400 yards and 3-4 touchdowns. And I think that's what you're going to see moving forward. And if he can continue to do that, well, Zeke is about to have it. But Zeke's going to have it. Skip, you don't pay a guy the kind of money that they paid Zeke to have him have 13 carries and for him to be a decoy. Because a lot of that was decoy because they were play actioning. This week, that play action, the ball's going to actually be in his belly.
By the way, just for the record, a year ago in Washington, or at Washington, Zeke didn't exactly run wild. He actually ran mild that day because he went 15 carries for 33 yards and a 2017 loss. So just for the record, he wasn't exactly carrying the team last year when they fell to 3-5 over the first 8 games.
Because your quarterback, what'd your quarterback do?
He had no number one receiver. And when he got Amari Cooper, he went like this, and he's still going like this.
What the really good ones can make an average receiver a number one. That's what the really good ones can do.
Really?
Because you believe Mike Thomas, so you believe Mike Thomas would be Mike Thomas. The Mike Thomas, is that his name? Michael Thomas in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Would he be that without Drew? Drew took that. Would Julian Edelman be what he is without Tom Brady?
No, you got
Brady
me on that
did
one.
that.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I do.
But you're talking about the greatest quarterback
I ain't talking about that.
ever.
Oh, there you go.
Shannon, what's about to happen is, and I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings because you're going to have a long, hard football season, but your tired, old argument that this is Zeke's team. He's the driving force of the Dallas Cowboys. They go as Zeke goes. That's just going right out the window. What's going to happen is this is going to be Dak and Zeke's team. This is going to be a classically and explosively balanced attack.
I hope so.
It'll be just like it was against the Giants, 32 passes to 30 runs, except the 32 passes will no longer be Dink and Dak. They'll be bombs away. They'll be flying circus. They'll be Kellen Moore unleashing the passing attack in ways you haven't seen it because the quarterback has been kept under wraps by Scott Linehan in the past.
Hold on. I got it.
Did I not tell you all offseason? Look out. It's coming. Kellen Moore.
So I'm going to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. The guy that helped Dak win Offensive Rookie of the Year and win 2 NFC East titles kept them under wraps. Oh.
Yeah.
So in other words,
you haven't seen the best stuff. You got to see the first flash on Sunday.
But Skip, this was a progression. So you expected that?
Scott Linehan was on your side. We go as Zeke goes. So they were going to establish Zeke at all costs. In some games, such as that one at Washington, they never quite got it established.
So let me ask you a question. Let's just say for the sake of argument, Scott Linehan is not the offensive coordinator in 2016, and he has this high-flying aerial attack that the offense is going to go through Dak. Do you think Dak they win those NFC East titles? Do you think we see what we see right now?
My quarterback rose above the coordinator for 2 years, 2 full years, and won the NFC East twice in 3 tries. And again, Zeke had a lot to do with it, but it's gone from sort of 75-25 to 51-49 quarterback. That's what you're going to see because the passing attack is going to look all different because it's going to have more impact. It's not dinking and dacking. Remember, for the first 8 games last year, Zeke was the number 1 targeted receiver.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
He was dinking and dacking.
All of a sudden, it's Michael Gallup, and it's Randall Cobb, and then it's Amari Cooper. Here we go. Look out.
And then guess what? And who was the number 1 rusher in the NFL in those first 8 games? One, Ezekiel Elliott.
Was he the number one? I don't even know. How did he get away with the 33 yards at Washington? That didn't do him a lot of good.
Yeah, but then he come back with 150 when he put that thing on Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah, and Philly. You remember that, Skip Bayless? But you don't want to see. You want to see. This is what I'm noticing about you. You want to just like, Zeke, he had an okay day. But Dak had a month to just get Dak all the credit. No.
What do I tell you all the time? I'm the one who says Zeke's the best running back in football. You say, no, it's Saquon. Well, which argument, where are you going? Which side of mouth? Which is it?
Saquon is...
I've been right where I am. The quarterback, I got quarterback, running back, and receiver. We got the new triplets.
So I'm just... Okay, let me make
it's
sure
coming, Shannon. You can't stop
Make
it.
sure I'm hearing you correctly.
It's okay.
Because I said Zeke is not the best running back, does that mean that the offense doesn't flow through him? No. Is right? He cannot be the best running back, and still the offense has most flow through him.
What have I already predicted? The Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
How do you get to the Super Bowl? You need
Zeke.
the best rusher in pro football, and you need one of the best passers in pro football, and you need balanced attack. Emphasize attack. It will be the Dak-Zeke attack, but it's going to look all different than it looked before. They're not going to grind it out and rely on the defense to make a play. They're going to establish the tempo right out of the box.
Well, we'll see. All that's fine and good. So I won't get an opportunity. We won't get an opportunity, Jen, for the first 3 weeks to see what this Cowboys offense is really about. They got Washington this week, and then they play at home Miami. So talk to me in 2 weeks when they play New Orleans. Then you can talk to me about what's going to transpire.
So you're suggesting this will be a cakewalk at Washington?
Yes.
Okay, then give me 13 and I will take the Redskins.
How about this here?
I will.
I'm talking about an old
cakewalk.
cupcake. I ain't talking about a cake cupcake.
Okay.
Easy.
Well, give me 13.
You don't get
I'm serious.
When
Put your do where your mouth is.
When kids have a little, young kids have a birthday party, they don't give them cake, they give them cupcakes. Little minis or the big one. Yeah. So this is what it's here.
Diet Dew goes great with cupcakes.
No, no. Diet Dew don't go with anything.
Yeah, it does.
No, it does
Tastes
not.
great.
You don't drink? Do you drink Diet Dew with your meals?
No, I have one a day right before this show.
Exactly. That's what you need.
Because that's the breakfast of champions, the nectar of the gods.
I got him up and he drank it, but see, he tell one a day, but he don't tell you it's a 2-liter. I make him drink 2 liters in the morning. 2 liters.
Yeah.
Creative work.
Yeah, I make him drink a 2 liter.
We won't tell the folks out there what somebody has before the show.
But that's not a hero this. Ain't nobody asked that. Ain't nobody ask you what I have be drinking for breakfast.
Well, I know
The
somebody
breakfast of champions.
who knows some great secrets about Skip. Shannon and I have been waiting for this all morning long.
Tell it.
Skip's wife, Ernestine, is in the building, and she's joining us here on set. Up next.
Trouble.
No mercy.
We have heard so much about her and have so many questions. Finally, she's live in the flesh in studio. Ernestine, welcome to Undisputed.
Thank you for having me.
This is a bad idea.
Here we go. Here we go.
I am about to lose my first debate ever on this show. And look what she's already done to me, and I didn't know this was coming. She has upstaged me on Black Friday. She's in all black.
It's Black Friday. Isn't that what you have to
Y'all
say?
playing.
I
Y'all
got no
playing
shot.
this. Y'all
I got no
playing this.
shot.
Ernestine, you
Yeah.
playing this. You didn't plan this.
No,
Did you?
I didn't plan it, but, it's the Johnny Cash thing. You got to go out fighting.
She's Mrs. Cash.
I'm Mrs. Cash today.
Yeah.
She's also a published author. Congratulations.
Oh, thank
have
you very
a
much.
book coming out today.
I do, today.
On Amazon.
On Amazon.
It's called Balls, How to Keep Your Relationship Alive When You Live with a Sports-Obsessed Guy. So let's jump right into it. I imagine there was a little inspiration in your own household, but why'd you write this book?
There was. I know nothing about sports. I knew nothing about sports. I do know a whole lot about sports now. But 14 years ago, when I met this lovely man, I absolutely had no idea what sports was. I did not come from a sports family. My dad liked baseball occasionally. My brother liked soccer, but I had never been to a football game in my life. And to this day, I still have not been to a football game in my life. That is the truth.
You won't be going because he doesn't go either.
That is also the truth. And so
Well, you did go in the marching band, right?
That's true. The closest I ever came to being at a football game was I played clarinet and I was in the marching band. So that was the closest I ever came to being at a live football game.
So, quick story. I'm at a show called Cold Pizza. she and I had each gotten out of long-term relationships shortly before this happened, and you were working at a big PR firm in New York City. That show was based at 34th and 8th in the old New Yorker Hotel in the basement, and she, as a PR executive, brought
Kevin Dillon from Entourage, and so I
to
had
be on Cold Pizza.
I booked Kevin on Skip's show, and I said, oh, why not? I'm going to go. And I walked into the green room, and then this guy passes the door by and backs
But why
up.
did the guy pass by? For the first and last time in my career, because you can attest to this, I left my notes for our final segment in my dressing room. Never done it before or since, so this is meant to be. I literally ran, because we have 3 minutes or so, ran down a long hall past the green room toward my dressing room, and as I passed, she waved, hi. And I stopped in my tracks.
But this was the funniest story. Before the past relationship I was in, he would watch sports, and he was at my apartment one day watching the game, and then he had a show on. And I said, hey, what's that show that you're watching? He said, oh, these two guys debate each other. He said, this guy is really good, this guy's an idiot. And the idiot was Skip. And I remember,
he was watching Cold Pizza.
Yeah, he was watching Cold Pizza. And I remember thinking, well, he's kind of nice looking. And then it went out of my head.
I have 30 seconds when I stop and look at her, and I think I said, do I know you?
Yeah, he said, do you
she
know
said,
me?
I'm Ernestine. And I'm like, yeah, and she handed me her card. She said she lived at 50.
Well, he was getting me so
Thurston.
confused and nervous. He was interrogating me within 2 minutes.
This
he
is
said
in
to me-
30 seconds.
He said, hi, where do you live? Who are you here with? And I was so confused. I lived at 52nd and 1st. I'm like, I live at 51st and 2nd. And I was so out of my head. And then he said, well, I have to go. And I said, well, if you ever need PR, here's my card. And so I gave him my card.
And the rest is history.
And later
but it
yes,
was love at first
it was
sight.
love at
Literally
first sight.
first sight. So we end up soon going on our first date. And I've told this story before, and she despises the story. But I told her right out of the box because I knew this had a chance to go somewhere.
So we go to
Yes.
First Avenue Pizza Place,
Okay,
a whole wheat pizza place.
And I said,
And
hey,
he said,
if this ever goes anyplace, you will always be 1A in my life because I'm married to
My
this,
job.
as you know.
And-
And little did she know how married I am, as you know, to
Yes.
watching games.
Well, he told me, so the first night after we emailed for 2 weeks, he said, why don't you call me tonight and we can speak on the phone? I just have to watch a Yankees game. And I thought, oh, that's nice, he's watching a Yankees game. Then I didn't know the magnitude of him watching sports. He said, well, I watch sports. And then it was sports and sports. And so after that, I said, how am I going to deal with this guy? And my mother, who was from the Lower East Side of Manhattan and had lived many years, she said, listen, this guy is a good guy. She said, if he wants to watch a game with you, he doesn't want to go to Hooters, he doesn't want to hang out with his friends, why don't you just watch the game?
that.
So I said, okay. But then one game became another game, and after that, the book came out of, because I've learned so much about dealing with a guy who loves sports, and all of the women that are out there that have guys that are like Skip, but only mine is magnified by 1,000%. I have tips and tricks along the way of how to keep it alive.
And the most tips and tricks come from my jinx demons because I got them. You have some working.
I do.
And by the way, the 1A thing, which always gets me a little antsy here, I have become number one, and the job has become 1A. So let's
Yeah,
let's
there
put
you
that
go,
out.
Ernestine. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not living. I'm
Yep.
not living in the Father knows best days here. I'm not no subservient woman. So this is number one.
I will concede that
Thank
to
you.
you
Okay,
before we get
appreciate
into
that.
the clashing that is about to ensue.
Here we go.
Because she still doesn't get the jinx rules. The first huge violation came last year in the playoffs, the Tom Brady at my homeboy game in the AFC Championship game. What happened early in that game? It's already 7-0 New England, and New England is driving and winds up with 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. What would Tom Brady not do in that circumstance?
Turn it over.
So what does she know? I told her I need 3 hours. This is it. This is our biggest game. We're going to lead with this, right?
Yep.
Although then something happened in the Saints game that we
Right.
kind of preempted that. But the point is that it's 3rd and goal from the 1, and I told her, just don't bother me. Don't open the door. I'm in my room watching my 2 TVs, but this time it's just one big TV. And she opens the door right on cue and sticks her head in and says, hey, I got this. Did I give you this letter? I don't know what this letter
There was a
is.
certified letter that came to him, and I found it, and it was on the weekend, and I said, oh, my God, this is an important letter.
So,
he needs this letter.
As God is my witness,
That was
I
the only
go
reason.
like this, no.
Right.
And I barely get
Right.
the no out. and Tom Brady raises up and throws it right to Reggie Ragland, the linebacker for Kansas City.
Good job,
Look
Ernestine.
at this. He throws it right to Reggie Ragland.
Right.
Rookie from wasn't he a rookie last year from Alabama?
No. He's
second
second
year.
yeah.
So he hits him, and I fall on the floor, and one of our biggest fights ever ensues, and I still haven't gotten over it. She gets over it a lot faster than I do.
Once again, I say, Skip, how can I change that game? Because I opened the door? This is insane.
She always says, I'm in Century City in Los Angeles, and just because I opened a door, it changed the game in Kansas City? Yes, it changed the game in Kansas City.
And then we have Hazel, our little Maltese that we love. It's his daughter. All of a sudden, I'm in the house looking for Hazel, and Hazel disappears. And then I hear Hazel, I can't find her, and then I go towards Skip's room. Hazel's in with Skip, and then I realize, and I hear him saying, okay, just sit here, it's okay, watch the game with me. He uses her like a little four-leaf clover, a little Buddha. So Buddha girl is in there, and only when the game starts losing, his team is losing, he boots her out and then shuts the door, and she's scratching at the door. She wants to get back in, but
so this has happened
good.
so many times that I keep telling her it works or it doesn't work. So what just happened a week ago last night? Opening Thursday night, Green Bay at Chicago. I had picked Chicago. You had picked Aaron Rodgers.
I did.
And I unfortunately picked Mitchell Trubisky, but that's a whole nother story. So Green Bay, the first 3 possessions in the first quarter, goes for a grand total of minus 19 yards. You remember this?
Yep.
So first possession of the second quarter, it's 1st and 10 at the 25. I had told her, she said, do you want me to fix your dinner? And I said, sure, but she knows the rules. Bring it at halftime, or at least wait until the quarter's
and we
over.
also live on New York time, so when I say to him, hey, I'm in the kitchen, hey, do you want your dinner? I'm going to make something to eat. It's 5 o'clock. Well, yeah, it's 8 o'clock. And I'm like,
we
no,
live
it's
on
not.
New York
We
time
live on New
because
York time
we have to.
because he
I
gets
get up at 2 o'clock,
in the
but I
morning.
look at my watch.
So I'm
and
living
it's
in
5
a
o'clock.
parallel universe along with the Jinx world.
Okay, so what happens? She comes barging in the door, and I turned to her and I said, watch what's about to happen. I told you, as
Yeah, I know.
God is my
Here we
witness,
go.
I said, watch what's about to happen.
I
and
changed the
Aaron
game.
Rodgers takes the snap.
Here
They
we
do a
go.
little fake reverse action, if we could see this play. And he throws like the equivalent of a punt, like a Hail Mary, and it goes up in the sky and down, and all of a sudden it comes right down to Valdez-Scantling for the game-breaking completion of the game. Did it not break the game open?
It changed.
It did. And I said, look what you just did.
How can
Look
I
what
change
you just
the game?
did.
Do
She
I have
did
that
it. She
power?
did
You
it.
had no idea how powerful
How
you
powerful
are.
am
Teams,
I?
you need to start bidding
Ernestine.
yourself out.
I deal with this man
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours a day. And I'm exhausted. When I leave here, I'm exhausted.
I know.
How you've done this for 14 years.
I don't know.
For 20 plus hours a
There
day.
is a
It's
sainthood.
unbeknownst
There
to
is
me.
a sainthood for me somewhere.
There is. She is saintly.
Oh my God, the
And yet,
jinxes
the
and the
truth
craziness.
is, her biggest compromise, she kept trying to like football. She has a hard time with football. It's a little too complicated. Plus, they wear helmets.
I can't see the faces.
She can't see
so
the face.
I can see the butts.
But guess
the butts
what
are
happened?
great. The faces
you know I'm
I can't
a lifelong Spurs fan.
Right.
So she started watching Spurs, and then she started watching NBA, and she fell in love with the NBA because you can see faces and
Faces.
physiques.
And the only way that I can actually sit 4 hours through a game is I came up with this little concoction idea. I pick out the cute guys. So the cute guys give me a reason to watch the game. So now
And you
I've
root for
invested.
them.
Yes, I've invested my time. So then I sit with Skip, and then I really like a couple of guys, and I'll say to Skip, hey, it's a really important part of the game. Hey, is he married? Yeah, he's
And
married.
she got to know all the Spurs backstories.
He's married.
Tim Duncan was married, but now he has a girlfriend.
Can
Does he-
you know?
when you're watching the game with him, can you root against his team?
Well, if we turn to a certain player, I can, like
Yep.
as in Kawhi. Kawhi is one of my
I can't
favorites.
believe you just
said
said his
the
name.
name.
Oh,
on the
God.
show.
Oh, no, I will not
You know,
say what
we
you
have
call
an
him
ongoing
is number
clash
whatever.
over
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah.
Because I am so out, as we just talked on number 2, and she still loves him.
I love
because
him. He was a Spur. He was amazing.
So we fight about this constantly.
Well, see, that's how it look. You cannot sit with me and root against somebody I'm rooting for. You got to go. You got to go. So I get that, Skip. You know, you can't sit. Whoa.
Well,
we're in this together. We're a team.
But I tone it down. I don't really.
undercover root.
I go in the other room and I'm rooting.
Subtly.
I do. And
But
even
the only rule is if she's watching a Spurs game, especially a big one or a playoff game, if she starts watching, she can't stop.
He
She
does
can't
not
leave
let me
because
go
if
to
they
the
get off
ladies'
to a
room.
good start, I always ask her before, Are you going to stay?
Right.
Do you want to watch? Because I'm happy for her to watch.
I have to make sure that I've emptied my bladder before I go, because otherwise I say to him, well, if I have to go to the ladies' room, I'm sorry, no, you have to
They're up
stay.
18. We got to.
Yeah, Skip, that's a bit much. I thought I was a bit over the top. Yeah, Skip, you might be a little bit too much.
Yep.
These rules are very complicated. Pull back the curtain for us at home. What is he really like?
Well, first off, we do not have a moderator living with us, so we can't debate that much. So
We need
Hazel occasionally, and Hazel resides with him on the weekends.
Yep,
Somehow
that's
she loves
true,
him on
she
the
does.
weekends. He is, if I have to be totally honest, and I will, he's a very spiritual, kind, caring, funny, contrary to what you may think. He is very funny at home, and we have a lot in common, and he's got a heart of gold, and so we
Thank
just
you.
have a lot of fun.
I concur.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And look, a lot of people ask me that all the time, Ernestine. What's he really like? I say he's as genuine as they come. I said, do not let the persona that you see as he and I debate back and forth. I say, the man, when I say he will literally give you the shirt off his back, he would. I said, I sit across from that man because he vouched for me. I said, I was the first guy, professional athlete, to sit directly across from him. He's a journalist
Right.
background.
Right.
I said, you look at all the other formats. You look at PTI, Around the Horn, all those people that do that
Yes.
are journalists.
Yes.
He says, I want a professional athlete because professional athletes normally can talk about their sport.
Sure.
But I believe Shannon can talk about basketball, baseball,
Yes.
anything that we come up with, he'll do his homework. So he good with me. And
Yeah.
our hood, Skip Bayless
He's
can
good.
come to the cookout anytime.
He can drive me a little crazy with, he loves Die Hard, and he has to recite every line when we're watching the movie, and I can't watch the movie, and I say, can I hear Bruce talking the line instead of you? But other than that, he's okay to live with.
Okay.
And Shannon's in your book too, right?
Oh, yeah,
Shannon
Shannon's
is
in
in
the
my
book.
book. That's right. Shannon
Thank
is
you.
one of my featured
And
celebrities.
Lil Wayne is in
and
the
Lil
book?
Wayne and Billy Bob Thornton and Kevin Dillon and Vince Gill, the wonderful singer, and
About their issues
and Michael
with this.
Rappaport, who's on
Michael
your network
Rappaport.
sometimes.
So let me say publicly, I love you very much.
Aw, I love you too, Skip.
I wouldn't be what I am without you.
Thank you.
And just for the record, you are number one because I do give you every waking second outside of this job. I don't do anything but her. Friday night is date night unless LeBron's playing or
Yeah.
And we,
Or the Spurs.
Spurs.
and we watch Jeopardies. We watch all our Jeopardies, and he has to win. I mean, of course, I do win sometimes, but I don't mind losing just because I don't know everything in the world, but he minds losing.
Yes, he is a very, very sore loser.
I'm a
Sore
sore
loser.
loser. Bottom line, we have been together now for 14
Yeah.
years. Never for 1 second am I ever bored with her, and that's my bottom line. We
I'm not
always
bored
have
with him
fun.
either.
We always have fun.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
thank you.
Thank you.
So you know what? You did okay.
Sigh of relief from Skip.
Date night still on tonight?
Yeah,
We may have
probably.
date night tonight.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Did he brief you? Well, don't say this.
He
Don't.
briefed me at 3:15 while I was on the treadmill and he was on the bike. We
Yeah, I
had to
was
go
on the bike
over
today.
the list, so it was okay.
Well, that was really sweet what you said. A whole different side of Skip Bayless. And Ernestine, congratulations.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you letting me come on and having me as a guest.
I think you got your knee in his back in that photo.
Yeah,
That's
I
why you
do
got a little wry smile.
I'm pinching him. Thank
Of course,
you,
this is
Shannon.
the last
Thank
time
you.
she's going to be on.
No, she can come back anytime.
It's the only one and only time. I have to write another book to be able to do that.
And the book's available as of today
on Amazon.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Can't wait to
Thank
check
you.
it
Thank
out.
you very much. Thank you.
Up next on Undisputed, will the New Orleans Saints get revenge from that gut-wrenching NFC Championship game? We'll talk about that one when we come back.
No mercy.
Sunday on Fox, the Saints are looking for revenge from that NFC Championship game loss to the Rams. The headline from that game, of course, the infamous non-call that the league later admitted, yep, should have been called as pass interference. The play is something that is still in the mind of Drew Brees, who, when asked if he'd moved on or forgotten about it, said, quote, "Still haven't, never will." Or will anybody from New Orleans. Shannon, I have always been very nice to you.
Yes.
You should return the favor right now. Who wins this game on Sunday?
I'm not going to help your cause, Jen. I'm taking the Rams because I think the Rams want to prove that they're the better team. And you've heard Sean McVay say there are other plays in the game. And what he's alluding to, they did get the kickoff to start overtime.
They did.
And they turned it over. So there were other plays. They could have prevented us from going down and getting the game time field goal. They could have taken the ball in overtime and marched down the field and gotten the touchdown. And yeah, we would have talked about it, but I guess they would have gotten the ending that they wanted, so no one would have cared. But I think the Rams want to show we're the better team. We're in our building. It's very, very difficult to play in New Orleans because the crowd gets so into it. You get some procedures, but now they're saying you're going to be in our domain. Mm-hmm. You got to come on our turf and try to beat us in our backyard. And so I think, and both teams, when I look at it, both teams I thought was really impressive. New Orleans got up to a slow start on Monday night, but, you know, the Texans, 14, they jumped out 14-3 on New Orleans, Texans there, and Drew got them going, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, New Orleans going to win the game. And then they give up a touchdown late, and you're like, oh, man, the Texans, and here's Drew. Mm-hmm. But as great as Drew was, it still took a 58-yard field goal. It wasn't a 38-yard field goal, Skip. It was a 58-yard field goal to win the ball game. The Rams go on the road to Carolina, and now we're looking at it. Is Carolina really that good? So how impressive was that win
I'm with you
in
that.
week one? Yep. So, but now we get an opportunity to see, and I'm taking the Rams 33-31.
Jen, I got your back.
Thank you.
I got the Saints. I got it high scoring 35-32.
Okay.
But I loved what Drew Brees said. That I'm hanging my hat on that quote.
Yeah. You ain't getting over that.
Still haven't, never will.
No.
And I loved how Sean Payton played this through the offseason because he wouldn't let go of it. Some coaches, we had Jeff Fisher on yesterday, would say, just let it go, move on.
Right.
They didn't move on because they're going to move with this motivation right out to L.A. to get some revenge. And if ever there's a regular season revenge game, it is this one. And I agree with you. The Rams are trying to say, well, wait a second. We were the tainted Super Bowl representatives.
Right.
You know?
NFC, yep.
Yeah. And so there may be some motivation there. But I like this Saints team, and I think they have a chance to win the NFC, even though Dallas will. But that's a whole nother issue.
Can we get 2 cases of doing it?
Well, we got like 5. You've already said they're going to miss the playoffs.
No. I'm talking about this game here.
Oh, this game.
You got the Saints.
Yeah, I'll take
Brittany
one
Breeze
case on the
said
Saints.
she'd never seen Drew more depressed than
Yeah,
after that game,
I'm
never in his life. All right, is Vegas going too far with the Patriots spread on Sunday? It is massive, 18.5 points. We'll talk about that up next.
No mercy.
Final topic of the day. The Patriots crushed the Steelers by 30 in week 1. Dolphins got crushed at home by the Ravens 59-10. According to Fox Bet, the Patriots now 18.5-point favorites versus the Dolphins Sunday. Shannon, it's a huge spread. Will the Patriots cover?
Yes. The Dolphins aren't a very good football team, and after one game, there are players requesting that you get traded to move on from Miami. I think they'll win. I think the Patriots cover. Not only do they cover, I think they win by at least 21.
Really?
Yep.
So can Fitzmagic put up a couple of touchdowns, maybe one in garbage time? Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yes.
Can the Patriots score 34-14 to cover?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure they can. I'm going to go 40-14 Patriots because I think Brady will play for 3 quarters. Jared Stidham will get to showcase his talent, his Jimmy G talent in the 4th quarter.
Yes.
And it will wind up 40-14 because Miami will score. He's still got Devontae Parker and, my guy Alan Hearn.
Yeah.
So they still got something
But
where
they're
they
just
can
not very good, though, Skip. And I don't know what transpired to make this team like guys want to get out of there so soon without even giving them a full opportunity. But maybe it's the coach, maybe it's the new system that he brought in, but something that the players that's not resonating with the players.
Great stuff today, guys.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.